Welcome to Lockdown Economy, a social non-profit initiative by the think tank AlterContacts to help small businesses and self-employed professionals overcome the challenges of the pandemic and reactivate the economy. My name is Arshia Bhatnagar, and today our guest is Arvind Chawla, the owner of Darima Farms. Hello, Arvind. How are you?
I'm very well. Just to put a little correction, I'm a co-founder of Darima Farms. So
All right.
I have another partner who is also a co-owner of the business. Yes.
Perfect. My bad.
No.
So if you would like to start off by explaining to everyone what you do as a business.
So we're actually a social entrepreneur based cheese farm. It's like how in the US you have the creameries. So you're a small farm that produces artisan cheese.
Right.
And in our case, we aggregate the milk from the villages. We have about 12 villages which are adopted. And we're hoping to take that to 40 in the next year, year and a half. So it's directly impacting about 1,000 households with the increased incomes. And we're obviously trying to create a product which, sadly, the way economies work, we're producing a product which is priced at a point which is only catering to 1 or 2% of the Indian market, because those are the people who can afford to pay for this. So it is a bridge we've tried to create between the least served and possibly the ones who can afford. So we're trying to funnel down the benefits from the whole business into a community.
No, that's a great initiative. If you would like to give a bit more background on yourself and when you started the business.
So for me, I still am a corporate guy. Means I have had about 22 years of corporate experience. I still continue with that. So this started as a passion venture experiment between me and my partner in the business, the co-founder, Saurabh Binayak. For us, I think it was something to really, we both have houses there. He primarily operates in the space of trying to basically build very nice homes for people there. And he always felt that, the community needed a lot of support. The government systems exist, everything exists, but it wasn't being monetized in the right way that really the community was being served in a proper sort of way.
Right.
So I think that's where the idea came up. This was 2016. We started experimenting in 17. We started selling in 18. Very humble first year. We just sold about maybe 2,500, 3,000 kgs of cheese. Today, as we stand, we are at about 15 tons, which is about 15,000 kgs of cheese. And it's, I think, possibly the quality of the product, people believing in the narrative that we give. And it's an honest business, right? Means it's really trying to help, not shying away from the fact that it is commercial in nature. But then part of that benefit is surely being passed on in a very ethical sort of way.
Definitely. No, that's great. And especially your ideology of bridging the gap and making it available to the masses at price points that are suitable for them. That's great. Okay, so moving on, if you would like to talk about 2020, the pandemic, and how sort of lockdown affected your business. You can, in terms of the key challenges you faced.
Starting point, I think both me and Saurabh are diehard optimists by nature.
Right.
So, we believe any sort of calamity, suffering, or a difficulty, or a roadblock, or a deadlock always is an opportunity. So, which is a core value for both of us. Means it's happened for both of us being from simple middle class backgrounds, taking quite a journey to arrive at the standpoint we are today. And I think it's purely because that spirit that we had. And when March happened, the initial reaction was, oh God, we're just a business who's trying to get sustainable. And I think we might perish. Like the whole world thought, right?
Yeah.
But I think we then took a took two steps back, reviewed the situation. And because we always believed being direct to customer, that was really our saving grace. We weren't just a cheese farm that was selling to fancy restaurants or hotels. We also are people connecting people. We wanted the product to go to the people. And that base of ours really transformed everything. And the relationships we had built at the organic markets, the farmer markets with other people, the 2 years of hard work that went in, most of those partners came forward. And I think by April, we had again stabilized to our February volumes. And as we stand today, we are today 100% up of what we were selling in February of last year.
That's
The only
great.
constraint, yeah. So I think the lockdown, not to sound so excited, the world is suffering. It has been a huge calamity. But I think it's means I said this to my team. I said this could be the biggest thing for us, and this was where people will get cautious about what they eat, how they source.
Yeah.
So principally, I said this could be our fast track to growth. What we would have done in 2 years, we possibly achieve in one, and it somehow kind of is coming true.
No, I'm really glad to hear that you had such positive growth in 2020. And I think, yeah, like you said, your business model, B2C, that's what really helped you in
Yeah.
expanding. Great. So, do you know how your customers and your competition are doing right now? Do you have any competition in the
No,
sourcing?
I think it is to live in a fool's paradise to believe that there is no competition. Sometimes a good thing happens and people emulate you. Emulation is, I think, the biggest form of flattery. So competition, if not today, will be there. We've seen actually a few cheesemakers come up in the last 2-3 years. There were some who were much larger than us who always existed. There were some who were not so large, have also grown like us.
Yes.
So I think, but the beauty of India is really, it's such a large country and with such untapped potential that there's space for everyone. Means I don't foresee for the next 3 or 4 years, we're going to have an issue with growth, maybe even 5-year window. Because cheese today is where wine was in, let's say, the mid 90s.
No,
People
definitely.
knew about it, people were trying it, people were experimenting with it. And today, I think people are more inclined to have real food, stuff that they know is well made without any sorts of preservatives, chemicals. So I think the overall consciousness of people wanting to invest in health is important. So I see competition exists, means we are seeing a lot of partners do very well. We've seen exponential growth with a lot of organic partners who are farm to table kind of concept where they're selling very high quality produce directly from the farms to the consumers. So principally, we've seen tremendous growth with most of those guys.
Right.
So, and it is a great ecosystem because this is a growing ecosystem outside of the real commercial, sorry to say, but the mandi concept or the modern retail concept.
Yeah.
This is a concept which is emerging. I don't know how large it will grow, but I think for the next 4 to 5 years, there's tremendous growth in this space.
And the big shift, I think that especially, I see it all around me in Delhi and in our social circles, the big shift to organic. And like you said, how conscious everyone is of what they put inside their body and of health, that I think has also played a big role. And I hopefully it will keep continuing and keep growing.
The organic is also a word which is highly misused.
Right.
So I think you have to put 2-3 different aspects to it. There is organic, which is purely organic, without intervention of any chemicals or pesticides. Even the soil is perfect. It's gone through the 7-year cycle of cleansing. Then you have non-chemical preservative foods, which may be on the path to organic. Because see, the organic path is a 7-year cycle. to get certified organic, it's a long story. You can't principally become organic. Oh, I want to start an organic brand today. Means even for Darima, it would take us maybe another few years before we can actually claim to be closely organic. So we proudly say we are a non-chemical, non-preservative brand. We're not a processed brand.
Right.
We're old style, good food. And then you have obviously factory made food.
Yeah.
Principally to feed the masses, to feed the world, you can't even say that that's bad. It's how much of it you consume is bad.
Yeah. True.
Means principally, just organic cannot feed the world, the population of 7 billion. So the third is the factory made food. The only thing is there the process has been sped up by use of chemicals. Means imagine making the same cheese that you take 45 days to make, you make principally in 3 days.
Yeah.
You must have added something to, speed up the process. So having said that, I think this is a great space because I see this trend really, really strong in the coming years.
Great. And yes, thank you for shining light on that. I think organic is just a word that people sort of throw around these days, and it's important to understand the difference.
Not to demean, there are honest organic brands who have certifications, who have intent and everything. They're not just using it as a badge.
Yeah.
But there are lots of badges out there who are just, it is a beautiful gimmick. So we were very clear from day one, we will not claim to be organic till we believe we are organic.
Right. Yes.
Because ultimately, any story, if it is not solid enough, uh, it tends to break down at a certain point.
So how's your business going now? And if you would like to share what your plans for the coming few months are.
I think the business is going fine. We're doing more than a ton of cheese a month, which is 1,000 kgs. We are in about 25 cities, about 50 plus outlets in the country. Then we have our own delivery channel in Delhi. Plus, there are still some hotels and restaurants that have come back on board. Next year target is at least 2.5x of where we stand. Production is being managed to that level. We're expanding our network of villages that we adopt. We hope that I think the numbers will possibly be at least 2x by the end of next financial, which is March of next year.
Yes.
But it's all work in progress. Means you can always talk about financial numbers. Who expected the pandemic will happen, right? So what we go through right now is something like in financial markets, when an incident like a pandemic happens, it's called the black swan, right? So this is an unexpected event in the history of man. And I think the only thing we can possibly think is we all survive. And rest numbers, are nice. They look good on paper. But I think it's a work in progress on a daily basis. So, but yes, we have hope that we'll grow very well in the coming years.
Well, I wish you the best with that. So lastly, I know that business is booming for you right now, but if there were 3 things or 3 aspects that you would identify you need help with or more work on, what would those be?
I think generally we possibly need more people to understand that I think we are not, though we are all foodies,
Yes.
as human beings anywhere in the world, what we tend to miss is sometimes we don't really put so much attention to what we're putting into our bodies. I think maybe a very interesting PR campaign where I think we talk about slow foods, we talk about real foods. And not that I have anything against people in the processed food business, but people to really make an informed choice. So I think a great PR campaign possibly to really talk about this aspect of food, which is being done in lots of places, especially in the West. But in our country, I think it's still a topic people are not very confident to talk about because a platform doesn't exist.
Right.
I would possibly want an association of natural food makers to emerge from these young brands, where we could possibly advocate the benefits of paying a little more, helping a smaller business, at least in the long term protecting your own health. Yeah, that's I think one of the things. Second, I think more platforms where you can sell. Currently, every city is dotted with organic stores. Modern retail puts you not in a special section. They put you with the regular product. Obviously means I can't compete with a 300 rupee kg cheese, which is produced in a factory.
Yeah.
And an uninformed buyer will only base his decision on price. But an informed buyer would possibly pick my cheese because he knows, yeah, there is quality and there's value in why he's picking that up. So I think the PR campaign, or I think secondly is a platform for natural food producers, especially small ones. We're not talking billion-dollar companies. We're talking small guys, 10, 15, 20, 30 crore, maybe 20 crore. So we're not talking billion-dollar enterprises. I think a platform needs to be created for producers like this who have honest intent and want to really provide good food.
Yes. Well, hopefully in terms of PR campaign and visibility, this interview will also help you get more informed buyers in the long term. Well, thank you so much, Arvind, for joining us today. And thank you to everyone who's viewing this. Please feel free to contact Arvind using the links in the description of the video. I invite you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. On our channel, we'll have many more insights for you from different countries and business sectors. So I invite you to take a look at that too. And stay tuned. Thank you, Arvind.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.